Hello everybody and welcome back. My name is Joel and this is A Stable Life. I'm so happy that you guys could join Leia and I on this beautiful sunny day. The weather is supposed to be beautiful today. We're just wrapping up with that cold front that came through. Temperatures last night were 24 degrees. So it's looking like for the rest of the week we get to enjoy the mid to upper 40s, possibly even some low 50s. Maybe. We'll see. Taking a look at our horses. It was a beautiful sight when I arrived. Everyone was down in the feeders eating. The mares looking good. Geldings looking good. Diego ready for his food, but also looking good. Aren't you, Diego? Yeah, good morning, buddy. We're gonna let Diego in first. I've already gone through and put grain and hay in all the stalls. Just a matter of getting these guys in for their morning feeding. There you go, Diego, watch yourself. There you go, brother. Ground is frozen. Very glad that I went through and cleaned the pastures when I did. Come on, buddy. Was curious if he'd wait for me or not, and he did. What a good boy. You guys may be curious how Diego's doing. I'll update you in a bit. For now, I want to get the horses in the barn. Well, good morning, champ. It's good to see you, my brother. Shall we let you on in? Come on in. There you go, champ. Hey, George. Hey, Jack. Hey, honey. Hey, Sarah. Hey, Bella. Rebel's making his way. I'm gonna follow the girls because I want to make sure they go into the right stalls. Honey, you want to come with me? You're over here wandering. There we go. Sarah and Bella are exploring. Bella's going in Sarah's stall. Bella, come here. There you go, girl. Once Bella's in her stall, Sarah goes right in hers. Well, I think it's safe to say that they are fully integrated into the herd. You no longer have any of the screaming or any of the problems. It's just a matter of getting these girls accustomed to going into their stalls. And as you guys know with Argento, sometimes they're never fully integrated. They choose to kind of explore a little bit, which is the impression I'm getting from Sarah and Bella. But like I said, so long as I lead Bella into her stall, it's no biggie. Sarah goes right into hers. And the longer they're here, the less they'll do that. Right, George? Well, guys, oh my goodness. Mares and Diego are in, as well as the middle field herd. Things have gotten a lot simpler with that, which is nice. Now we just gotta let in the big field. Good morning, good morning. See, we got Spitfire, Skywalker, Declan, Danny, Obi, Sriracha, Poncho, Tucker. That's the first wave. Let's watch Poncho. He's the one in the blue blanket in front of the giant horse that you can't see. There he goes, right into his stall. Good horse. Next up, we have Argento coming in. There he is. Hey, good morning, Argento. Good morning, Suede. Hey, Gavin. Hey, Poe. Hello, Archer. Good morning, Casino. Weather. And then I believe there's only one horse left, which is Samson. Yep, very good. Just Samson. There you go, brother. Come on in. Well, that was just beautiful. Nice and easy. That's what we're talking about. We get the sun for the day, which is nice. We do have rain coming in this afternoon, which that is going to factor into how we feed the hay for today. Speaking of, we need to get a look at those feeders. Waiting for the four-wheeler to warm up, and it looks like the veggie boys are out spreading lime. One of the neighbor farmers has a lime spreader. They're here helping. Daniel's loading them up. So I'm just waiting because I don't want to get in the way in between all of them loading. I'll wait until he's full and loaded. Heading on out and we'll go check out the hay. Also, if you don't know what lime is or you've never seen it, that's lime. I'll ask one of the veggie boys during lunch about the purposes of lime and spreading it and such. I'm not going to pretend to give you an answer because I'm not very knowledgeable on lime. So in the middle field, we're checking out two things. First, I want to check out and see how the berm did. So taking a look at our structure and our feeder, you guys can see it is lower. So water is going to be running downhill, right? So we had water running into where the horses were standing, where we wanted it to be dry. Kind of defeats the whole purpose of putting a roof on it if you got water running in. So we scraped a little section of land here to kind of have the water as it's coming, hit this, and then go right down here this way. And I can actually see where the water went, and it looks noticeably drier over here. Taking a look inside the feeder, nice and dry. Lots of new manure that has been added since I've cleaned it out, but this is nothing problematic, especially when you look at where my boot's stopping. It's not going into anything. As for hay in the feeder, we put 2 round bales in this time. We haven't fed 2 in this since we, like, you know, opened it, because we only had 4 horses in here at night. And I think it's 6, I believe it's 6 during the day. Now with us having 7 at night and, or is it 8? Hang on, I need to run through the list. Samson, Casino, Spitfire, Skywalker, Argento, Obi, Tucker. That's 7. So there's 14 horses in this pasture that are running through 2 herds, 7 horses in each herd. So we really only needed to feed 2 round bales a week in this feeder. Well, I just fed 2 together, and look at how full the feeder is. Now, there is a lot eaten from here, but there is no reason for me to put hay in this feeder right now. It is loaded. They like to, sometimes the bales get a little close to the sides and they can kind of rip all the good hay out sometimes, but I definitely don't need to put hay in this. Today's Friday, so we'll do Friday. Probably Saturday night, they'll need 1 bale in this, and that'll fetch them over to Tuesday. It might be a 2 bales and then a 1 bale thing. We'll feather it as needed, but this feeder's looking good for today. Let's check out the big field. Sound good, Scoots? Down here in the big field, it looks like we really don't have that much left. We can see that they have eaten this down completely to the bed. There is a little bit of hay here, enough for like 4 horses for a day. That's it. And our other 2 feeders are completely empty. That one in the back is basically empty, and this one is completely empty. So not enough food for them for a whole day, being day and night. Enough food for just the day. So let's check our weather. All right, we've got a whole day of rain coming tomorrow, and then it's dry Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. And then it's gonna rain Tuesday night, Wednesday, and Thursday. And it's gonna rain starting tonight. Let's see what time. Starting at about 1 o'clock in the morning, and then just all through the day. Oof. So I'm thinking then only 1 bale out there. With all that rain coming, they won't be able to finish it, and horses don't like eating wet hay. So if we feed 2 bales in these outside feeders, they'll eat half of it, and then the rest they'll waste. And those bales do cost money. So, you know, literally wasted money there. I'm gonna let these horses mop this up for today. And then tonight, I'm gonna feed 2 bales in here, 1 bale out there, and 1 bale up there. Meaning that we should get 4 bales this morning. So we'll fire up the tractor, turn out the horses, get the hay, and then we're gonna expand things up to a larger conversation about hay, kind of bring you guys up to speed how things are looking for our hay season, how things have been, how things are, and where things are going. We have all the horses turned out for the day, and all of them are enjoying the sunshine. Horses are down in the middle field eating all that hay, and the big field. Mares are over here sleeping and just chilling. And I turned out Diego and he left. I basically opened the door and him and Pancho went right out the door. And they went right out into the big field as well. So we are very happy about that. Next up on the list, gonna be getting those round bales for this afternoon. I have the yard rake hooked up to the back of the tractor. Use that while I'm cleaning up the pasture. And since we have it hooked up already, might as well drag the arena and then hook up to the bale spike and get those round bales. Some rain coming, and I always try to get this done when we don't have any rain coming, because the yard rake doesn't really go deep, it just scratches the surface, and when it rains it hardens the material up enough. But I have a feeling, because it's Friday, it's sunny, and it's warming up as we go through the day, that we might have some clients coming down this afternoon before the rain, and they might want to do some arena riding. And on the off chance that they do, since I have this already hooked up, figured we might as well get this job done. The little stuff that matters, you know? Okay, there we go, that's done. I'm sure the clients will really appreciate that. Let's get this unhooked, hook up to that bale spike, and get those round bales now. We have a bale on the back. I was just about to put a bale on the front. But if you guys have noticed, we're getting 4 bales today, and you can see we only have 2 left that are marked with the H's, which interestingly enough was originally marked for hay because the Veggie Boys, when they baled, they did alfalfa and clover for their cattle and then regular grass hay for horses. Now H has become horse. So that's all that's left of our designated horse bales for first cutting. You'll notice though, as we're looking down the rest of these wrapped around bales, that this isn't all that's there. We have more wrapped bales here. Now these are bales that were hay fields that were baled and wrapped and originally designated for the cattle. They didn't know, they being the Veggie Boys, how much hay they would need for the season, so they designated a couple of their hay fields for themselves. Since we're such a big hay client for them, everything else that they produce, we buy, and then some. Usually we buy all that they can produce, and then we even buy hay off of another hay farmer that we really like that trucks it in, also from Pennsylvania. So once we grab these bales here, we are going to be buying these. The only difference is these are not prepaid, nor are these marked, meaning that some of these could be clover bales, some of these could be alfalfa bales, and some of these are hay bales. I know, never knew there was so many different kinds of hay. The important thing is we cannot feed our horses clover bales, nor can we feed our horses alfalfa bales. We are not at a racetrack. We are not running high-end endurance horses or jumping horses. Alfalfa is very high in protein. Some of you out there may be at barns where your horses are consuming and enjoying alfalfa. If we were to give our horses alfalfa, it would be so much protein and so much nutrients that they would be very hot, they'd be very fiery, and they could potentially hurt some of our clients. We don't want to mess with that because that messes up the grain. It pretty much throws the whole system off. So in order to prevent that from happening, it's pretty easy to tell what alfalfa and hay look like. All I need to do is cut the bale beforehand, take a look inside. I can tell if it's an alfalfa bale. Since it's opened, I'll take it on up to the farm, leave it over near the cows. The Veggie Boys will take it and feed it to their cattle. If it's hay, then I take it over to the horse stable and I use that for the horses. This isn't all of the hay though. Our second cutting is really good. We have 44 round bales that are second cutting left. And I could use those 44 bales starting today, actually, if I wanted to. And that would get us through all of March and probably all of April into May, which is good. That's really good. The only problem is that means that when we're in June, July, August, and September, those 4 months, we still feed hay in the middle field. And depending on whether or not we're in a drought or not, we will have to feed hay in the big field. I honestly have no idea how the summer's gonna go or how the hay season's gonna go. We work with what we get. And I would rather save our second cutting hay for the summer than use it now in the winter. I've talked about the importance of first cutting and the difference in crop between a first cutting and a second cutting. Simply put, first cutting, there's more feed value, and that feed value is what's really important for the horses. It's what puts weight on them, it's what gives them their nutrients. That is the key. That key is what provides our horses and their nutrients through the winter when the grass isn't growing. These second cutting bales are mostly grass. That's where you get your high fiber, your good quality, helps push everything through, keeps them healthy, but it just doesn't have the same nutrient value that a first cutting bale would have. So we make sure that we're feeding the appropriate bale at the appropriate time. Sometimes, based on the situation that you're dealing with, you can't really control it, so you end up feeding first cutting bales. In fact, I did that last year in 2023. I was feeding first cutting hay bales during the summer the entire time because we had no other hay that I could use. Well, I'd like to change that for this year. So we aren't touching those yet. We'll probably start touching those in May, since we have all of those bales over there and all of those bales over there for us to use. And we'll use what we can because the Veggie Boys really aren't going through that much. To put things into perspective, the horses are going through 8 round bales a week, which is about 200 small square bales a week, which is normal. That's actually par for the course. And back when we did small square bales, that was about what I had to make sure that I moved over, was 200 small square bales every 2 weeks, 400 bales a month. And we're happy that the round bales are working out. This is a great situation, and it's nice that the equipment's doing the work. Oh, and it's not my back. So this is gonna be the bale that we're taking a look at. All I'm gonna do is give it a little bit of a slice, take a look at it and see what it is. We have been opening up the wrapped bales back at home. Kind of makes things easier for cleanup, but we're gonna start opening these up back here. So let's see what this bale looks like. If it is a clover or an alfalfa bale, I'm gonna have to take it over to the farm anyway and then I just have to open up another bale. It's kind of like a game. You never know what you're gonna get until you open the bale. It's pretty neat. Now, everything's not completely chaotic. There actually isn't any clover here. Now this right here is all of the clover bales that they have stored. You'll notice there's a lot less clover bales. Our clover crop last year wasn't as nice as they were hoping it would come out to be, but they certainly made enough. I mean, look at all these round bales here. And I can't touch any of these. These are not good for horses to eat at all. This is entirely clover bales. There's bales here that are 2 years old that are clover bales. And this will look somewhat familiar because this is pretty much the backdrop of all of our second cutting. So you can see all of those right there is our second cutting hay. And I don't know if you could see way up there, but those little white dots, marshmallows up there, is more hay that we can use for our horses. These are all clover bales. Look how good that wheat looks, guys. This is pretty cool because you guys actually got to see this crop being planted on the channel. And now's how it looks. Looks like beautiful little rows of grass right now. Oh dear. I haven't been in the woods in a little while. Looks like we've got a tree down. I think I can cross it right like this. There we go, that worked. We'll have to take care of that. These are all the trails that are back in the woods that our clients can go riding on. You can go riding on these on horses, or in my case, I'm currently using a four-wheeler. Or you can go walking. Pretty much all of the above. They work for all of it. I love it back here. I always think it's so peaceful. When I was a little boy, I used to come back here all the time. Great place to think and explore. It's good stuff. Here's a good contrast for you guys. This is that area I wasn't able to cross because of the floodwaters. You can see the difference in just how lower the water is. This is what we're used to. Nice and clean though. That's good water. This is water that is runoff from the entire mountain going off to the side. And our horse pasture and cow pasture are part of that mountain. And so it's nice to see just how clean the water is. That's something we pride ourselves on. Good rain management, good stormwater management is important. What do you say there, Scoots? You liking the water? Leia loves the water, don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Don't you? Did you get it? What's out there? Oh, got another tree down. Oh man, and this is one of the history trees. This is one of the trees that the horses were tied to. Well, that's sad. There you go, guys. You can get another contrast for how the difference. Oh my goodness. What? What? Oh, wow. There's some damage back here. Those floodwaters really did a lot of damage. Wow. Okay. Well, for starters, this wasn't like this. And this used to be a path here. You could drive right back through here. Now this is like a creek bed. That's insane. I've seen these trails my entire life, so it's hitting me deeper, but here you go. Get a look at that flood footage. Check out the difference. Just insane. Looks like Leia's exploring things just like me. This is crazy. Oh, you can see just how high the water was back here. Taking you guys with me, we're exploring together. On another hand, this is actually kind of a good thing because this water never actually flowed to the stream. It all sat in here. This was really like a lot of mud bogs and stuff. Huge, deep mud puddles were here. Now it's actually flowing water. And you can tell how cold it was. Got ice on the top of it. Man, everything looks so different. Well, guys, look at this. Wow. Stay. Wow. Look at this, just completely knocked over this pine tree. Ripped it right out of the ground. I thought she was gonna run into it. Oh, there she goes. Snapped that pine tree right off. Boom. There's another tree, because here's the top of it over there, but it's completely covered in leaves and stuff. So this one fell before the flood. This one fell recently, and this one fell recently. This is that mog I was telling you about. This is just water that sat here. This is all just natural, you know, untouched land. This is just how nature had it. So it's just interesting to see a stream flowing through here, like a constant flow, making its way out, and good, which is good. The water stays fresher. I'm sure the plants like it. You can see there's lots of like flowers and skunk cabbage. You know, skunk cabbage is always nice. All right, continuing forward. Like I was talking about with the floodwaters, you know how I was saying it completely cleans the woods? Look at this. This was all underwater here. You can see all the leaves are gone, and it's just this beautiful, pristine soil underneath these trees. What are you doing there, huh? And then this is how it looks when the water hasn't touched it, of course, for a contrast. You can see a direct difference. Crazy. Just look at this, guys. It almost looks like somebody just went through with like a leaf blower and just completely cleaned off the entire woods. Just looks so clean in here. Wow. Oh, wow. My word. I've never seen that so dammed up like that. There is a straight up natural dam forming there. See, the way the water is supposed to flow is it comes down this stream, and then out that way the water flows. Directly that way the water flows, and then this way the water flows. And it looks like all three streams are now dammed. I can still hear the water flowing that way though. But most of the water is now flowing this way, meaning this is a lot deeper than it used to be. Right here looks like it's about 3 feet deep. Normally, this section of water here is only about 6 inches deep, maybe even 4 inches deep. You can usually see rapids flowing through here, like rocks coming out of the water and water running through the rock. Now it's solid deep, almost like you could boat in it. Wow, just crazy how things change over time. So cool. All right, guys, here we are. This is where the alfalfa bales are stored. You see way down there, there's our second cutting and our clover bales. So these bales are mostly alfalfa, but sprinkled in between here are some hay bales. We just don't know which is which. So same process applies here. When I come on over and I'm grabbing these, we'll cut them open. We're gonna take a look inside and we're gonna see, is it alfalfa? Is it hay? If it's alfalfa, since I have it cut open, then I'll be taking it home and feeding it for the cows. Well, I should say putting it over by the farm. The veggie boys will feed it when they need it. If it's hay, then I will take it and bring it back to the farm and we will feed it for the horses. You may be asking yourself, why didn't the bales get marked? Simply put, they didn't mark the bales because these bales weren't originally intended for us with horses. They expected to be using all of these bales of hay for their cows. However, that's not the case anymore. They used way less hay for their cows, and we used what we expected for our horses. So because they didn't use as much as they expected, we're taking advantage of that opportunity and saving our second cutting for the summer. Feels kind of crazy to be thinking about stuff like that because it's so far in the future and it's like we're just starting this year. We haven't even hit spring yet. But that's where your mindset needs to be when you're using these bales. When you have 24 animals, large animals such as horses, and they go through a lot of hay, you need to really think about that. So I don't know how much is here. Let's see, we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. 22 bales are here. So that's about a month worth of hay right there. Probably won't be 22 bales for horses. I'm thinking more like 8 are gonna be here for horses. Time will tell. We're going to be continuing to feed first cutting hay until spring kicks in and the grass is really starting to grow. And then we're going to use last year's hay before we start using this year's hay. And what's nice is we've got that second cutting to get us through that in-between period. So I'm pretty happy with our hay situation this year. And you just can't beat that view. So this is the Cunningham Sugarloaf Valley. Right over there is Sugarloaf Mountain. And Interstate 80 runs right there. So if you go on Interstate 80, and you're maybe heading to New York City or you're heading out to San Francisco and you're passing through Pennsylvania and you cross by Interstate 81, that's where we are. So that's kind of crazy to think about, but that's where the interstate runs, right parallel with that mountain all the way out. Just a beautiful view. Love this area. Good stuff. So that's how things stand for our hay situation. That'll be why we're not using marked bales anymore. You guys may be curious if you see the bales getting cut open, they're not marked. That's why. Also, just thought if you were curious from the last period of first cutting, where we started using hay for 2023's hay season, to now, which is still 2023 hay, you may be curious how many round bales we have used. The number right now that I have is 163 round bales so far that we have used. And if you want to do some fun math, so if you were looking for small square bales, that would be 3,749 small square bales. Or put another way, that is 65 tons of hay, give or take a couple tons. Yes, that's kind of insane. But, you know, hey, horses are huge animals and They eat like huge animals too. That's crazy. 65 tons. Okay, that is hay. Good news. Well, it's my understanding that the family has like a wedding or something going on, and whoa, we got some mud on the camera. Let's fix that, huh? So anyway, lunch today is peanut butter and jelly and pasta salad, which very nice of Grammy to even make the pasta salad because she went to that. So she thought ahead and made this so that we would still have something. Thank you so much for the effort. I appreciate that very much because she didn't need to do that at all. Could have just, you know, left us fend for ourselves kind of thing. But what I'm getting at is we have an awesome grandmother and I appreciate her very much. And I do love a good pasta salad. About you guys, but I think it's time we feed some hay. All the horses are fed. Everything is taken care of. I certainly hope that you guys enjoyed being with me today, talking about hay, the logistics of everything that goes into it, and just how much we go through in a year. It really is staggering, and I'm so happy that we have the logistics system set up, everything working the way that it is, so that ultimately, in the very end, our horses are happy and our clients are happy. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't,
make sure you hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe.
And as always, we'll see you in the next one.